Welcome everyone to the Drons Lair Podcast. I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon, and with me once again is the incomparable family man himself, James Haynes.
That's me, folks.
And today, let's just get you guys on track for what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be discussing the Elimination Chamber. We are also going to be talking about the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special.
Yep.
We're also going to be discussing the season premiere of Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
And we will also be discussing the Netflix movie Kinda Pregnant from Happy Madison Productions. So now, not for nothing, you know, it's been a crazy week and we've had a lot of stuff coming out. There's been stuff that's disappeared, you know, and I just want to make like a couple of little things about anime because while we were off, they went and they finished Dragon Ball Daima, at least the subbed version. So Daima was hitting great ratings, so was Solo Leveling. And then Solo Leveling just had a very emotional episode, and it got knocked down as listed as one of the worst rated episodes on Crunchyroll. And I'm sorry, but I have a problem with that because of the fact that it's the emotional tethering that we needed for the story. You can't just have the guy being dark and mysterious, but coming off as a badass without him finally getting to go and like save his mother. And he's crying. And they're like, oh, we're taking aura points away from that. Aura points my ass. No, that was
this, a video game?
Exactly. That's what it feels like sometimes. Yeah. But no, it's actually really worth it. Anybody who is saying that episode is a bad episode, they have completely missed the point, especially considering they're getting to the Jeju Island. Sorry, probably pronouncing that wrong, but the Jeju Island arc with the ants. It's going to be an amazing arc. So anybody who's watching Solo Leveling, if you've read the manhwa or the light novels, you'll understand exactly what's going on. And I do want to say I did find one of the anime that's out this season. It's Amikuru. I can't even pronounce the full title, but it's a doctor who she basically goes and she's like House. So she's solving mysteries and crimes because she's that much of a genius. Let me see if I can. I got to pull up the name here so we can, because the English title is Amiku Doctor. MD, Doctor Detective.
Okay.
So definitely worth a watch on Crunchyroll if you're into mysteries and stuff. I prefer more like Case Closed, Detective Conan. This is, it kind of falls into the realm of House with some of the stuff, but it's not the same thing. But I am interested to see the rest of the dub for Dragon Ball Daima to see how that one comes out. But they did kind of leave it open for an interpretation, so anybody who wants to discuss how Dragon Ball Daima fits in between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, you can send me an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Now, one more thing before we jump into the Elimination Chamber. We've gotten a lot of people talking and making comments on some of the shorts that we have up on TikTok and everything about Captain America Brave New World. And you guys are hating on a movie. It's completely different Captain America. I'm trying to figure out where the hate's coming from because the movie is a solid movie. You're not going to always get like an Infinity War or an Endgame. You're not getting that every single movie. Sometimes you got to set some stuff up. And Sam Wilson coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, going into Brave New World, this movie is at the right point. It's not the best. I will not say that it is top tier, but it is a good, solid Marvel movie.
It's also a relaunch to their phases again.
Exactly. So people need to understand that we're getting a new Captain America, not the Steve Rogers Captain America. So if you have a problem with that, then, you know, I appreciate the comments. You guys are allowed to have your opinions. However, I honestly do need to tell you the hate is blanket unwarranted. There is no reason to hate on Captain America Brave New World the way you guys have. You know, some people agree that the movie's good. It's a solid movie. and other people, someone didn't understand the concept of trailers giving too much away, thinking a teaser trailer and a trailer are the same thing. Jimmy, would you like to elaborate on the difference?
Yeah, teaser trailers are small. They get your mouth watering of the product that's coming out. The full trailer, trailer number 1, will explain a little more of that teaser trailer. And then trailer number 2 and the final trailer will give you at least a good sense of background on what to expect in this movie, but not give you the whole movie. Am I correct on that part?
Well, the teaser trailer doesn't give you anything really other than here's a small outline of what to expect.
And when it's coming out.
Yeah, exactly. When we get into the trailers, they've been giving way too much away.
Yeah.
So the regular trailers have been expanding, especially when you get 3 trailers or more for a movie. You're finding out too much. You're walking in there and you've already seen all the best stuff that's been in the trailers.
And you're getting ticked off at it.
Yeah.
And special announcement from Marvel News on Instagram. The Russo brothers have announced, oh, you're going to love this.
What is it? What do we got?
Avengers Doomsday, 2.5 hours.
Oh, God.
Avengers Secret Wars, oh, wait, here it is. 3 hours.
Oh, no.
They've announced the times.
No. I'm sorry. This is where I'm starting to, like, that. I'm not going to want to be in the movie theater for 3 hours. They better put in a goddamn intermission if you're doing 3 hours. You know, granted, there are apps like Runtimes that'll tell you, like, at what point you can go and rush off to the bathroom without missing anything. But no, this really needs to stop. 2 hours is more than enough time to tell a cohesive story. If you are doing this for 3 hours, I'm sorry, but
you have issues.
Yeah, this is taking too long. And I mean, we grew up within like the 90s and the 80s where all the movies, unless it was a special event, like if it was something like The Godfather or Titanic.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, those movies were over 2 hours. Mm-hmm. But when you get everything else was usually under 120 minutes. Mm-hmm. At most, a good chunk of the movies, I would say, fell into the 90-something minute
90
range.
minutes to an hour and 50 at least tops.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I agree with you because you know what it is? It's the Peter Jackson, the Russo brothers, and God knows, and even Schneider have all abused the power of the cinema.
Absolutely.
I'll get to a little what somebody said later.
Yeah.
With something on it because it's a whole different it's just the non-topics of what we're talking about, but it's not keeping you want to keep people in the cinema. You want people to go to the movies, not be like, oh, I'll wait till it's online to stream it. And
that's exactly what they're doing. Now, I'm not going to say that Peter Jackson and the other directors, the Russo brothers, Nolan, like they make great movies. Yeah. I am not going to take the quality. Yeah, we're not taking away from the quality of the movies. No. The problem is if you expect people to spend what you're asking them to spend to go to the theater, and also, you know, you can't just go to the theater. You need to buy snacks. Yep. And then you're selling us popcorn buckets that are all these custom popcorn buckets. So that's an extra fee right there. And then you want someone to sit through the movie for 3 hours or more, which thank God the Snyder Cut was not in theaters at all.
No.
Because now the Hollywood is basically forcing everyone into the zone of, I'm not going to the movies. I don't care if this bombs at the box office because it'll be on Prime for rental to be able to watch.
In a few weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
And that's the thing. What is it? The movie with Ke Huy Quan, Love Hurts?
Yeah.
It came out in the theaters. It didn't do as well as it probably should have.
3 weeks later?
It was already on rental. And that's part of the problem.
Nosferatu's already on rental.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, it's on Peacock.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have movies that were in the theaters, that were getting a lot of hype, and they're being pushed off, that's where we're starting to see a problem. Because now I can get a cheaper TV, probably not with tariffs kicking in, but you've already gotten a TV, or, buy a projector off the TikTok shop, and you go and you can just project it up onto the wall. You will be able to see it on the screen the size you choose. You don't have to worry about other people interrupting, taking their phones out. You don't have to worry about people getting up in the middle of the movie. If you have to go to the bathroom, you can pause it.
Yeah.
That is the thing that you're getting from being at home. The movie-going experience is dying. And
that's unfortunate.
And it's Hollywood's fault for pushing movies to be longer and longer, because you have to cram in as many celebrities as possible. Now, I love the MCU, but they are cramming in every person they can, and that is going to be part of the detriment to why they're not going to make the money that they normally would. Because most of the stuff, everyone wants to wait. I can see it at home. I don't have to go to the theater. You don't have to spend all the money that you would spend for your partner, for your kids, for anyone else that's coming, because if your kids have one of their friends is with them, so now you got to drag that kid along. So there's multiple people. You could end up easily in the hole from going to the movie theater for, I'm going to say, around $100.
Yep.
Easy. And that's including snacks and whatnot. So we really need to just basically reel things back a little bit so that we can actually see that it really falls into, we can tell a cohesive story in a shorter amount of time.
Exactly.
So now let's move on, because I really want to get to Elimination Chamber.
Absolutely.
Because WWE's Elimination Chamber, this was
off the freaking chart. From match one to from the first Elimination Chamber to the last one, which was the main event, and everything in between was off the chart, off the bricks.
The women's Elimination Chamber match, while my money was on, and I had a feeling that it was going to be Bianca Belair, but I really wanted Alexa Bliss to win.
Me too.
And because it would have been a great comeback story for her coming back now. But Bianca Belair being in the pod, watching Jade Cargill show up and beat the ever-living hell out of Naomi. While Liv Morgan got to be like, I didn't do it. Yep.
Go right ahead.
Yep. She jumped off to the side and was like, no. I will say that is probably the best acting performance I have ever seen from Bianca Belair, because so distraught even after it's like Naomi's out. Who's the next one in?
Bianca Belair.
Exactly.
I was just ready to say it. It's like, and then next thing you know, Bianca Belair is the next one in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, I mean, that match had a lot of twists. It had a lot of turns. Jade Cargill coming in, not saying a word, and just beating the hell out of Naomi and taking her out of commission there. I think that was the smartest play that they could do at that point. And having the finish be Bianca versus Liv.
Yeah.
I really would have preferred if it was Alexa, but that's my personal feeling on it.
At least it wasn't Liv winning, because you did not.
Nobody wanted to see that one again.
No, because we'll get to, because we do have to touch. I will say we will touch Monday night.
We have no choice, because it does play a role into it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tama.
No. That's Muttley.
Yeah. Can't tell the difference between Tama and Muttley at this point. But no, so now then you had the women's tag match, which Trish and Tiffy time.
They sold that match amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not the biggest Nia Jax fan, but Nia and Candice did a great job in this match. And Stratton and Stratus.
I like the outfits.
Yeah, the outfits were great. Like, they did a great job that entire match, especially with Trish now. What was it, 25 years in the business?
Yes. Cool.
It was absolutely worth it. There's a reason why she is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I was at that Hall of Fame and I loved how, I will say this, she took a speech, let it roll. Yep. And mind you, she had a bun in the oven at the time.
Oh yeah.
But I will say this, even before, because if you notice, they both dressed in maple leaf, Toronto maple leaf colors and everything. I have to go a little bit, excuse me a second, before the Elimination Chamber started. Did you notice in there the national anthems?
Oh yeah, the massive amount of booing for the United States national anthem.
And that's not the first time it was done.
And
either.
it won't be the last.
Nope.
And
then, Canada, everybody's just like all joyous.
That was probably the longest rendition of "Oh Canada" I've ever heard, and I was more happy than anything to listen to "Oh Canada."
Yes.
Because
I thought I was in a hockey match on that.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely great.
And just to make a point of that, also when you said it's on that, people are asking for Pat McAfee to be fired because of his comment.
Which
I'm
one?
like, please, everybody, let's mind our business on this stuff. This isn't politics. Let's stick with wrestling. Let's go to match number 3.
Of course, and that was Jimmy.
I believe it was the Kevin Owens, Sami
The
Zayn,
unsanctioned match.
lights out match. And if you notice in that, the ref did not have his WWE. He just had a regular black shirt on.
But
the ref that was starting the match.
Yep, the starting ref had a regular plain shirt on and was making sure he wore gloves because we knew this was going to get bloody.
There was going to be blood.
Now,
and tables destroyed all over the...
Listen, there was a lot of toys that were taken out. I was not expecting the chair wrapped in barbed wire. That one I was not expecting that one to come out of nowhere.
When did Mick... It's like, like the Cheetahs commercial. When did we get a cat? When did Mick Foley get here?
Oh no, I was like, when they pulled out the chair, I was like, Cricket Wireless? Which I have to say, yes. Not for nothing, but WWE airing the horrible commercials for Real American Beer. Those commercials are absolutely terrible. They are the worst commercials I have ever seen with the lowest production value ever.
I'm still a Stone Cold Steve Austin beer guy.
I would rather have a Steve Weiser than drink that Real American piss. Because that's pretty much what it equates to.
Oh, you know what? Like Coors Light.
I would actually rather drink Prime, and I would never drink Prime, than Real American Beer.
Oh.
Yeah, those can both be sitting on the shelf of things I will never touch.
They'll be on the shelves in the dollar store for life.
Oh, absolutely.
The dollar stores are now going to have an alcoholic section. And what's going to be there? Real American.
Yeah. Now, we do have to go back, Nick, because now that unsanctioned match was brutal. It went
all over the place.
They went everywhere. They took out tables. They put themselves through hell, and they put on one hell of a performance. Yeah. Now, I was not expecting Randy Orton to come back after the match.
I was not expecting him. I wasn't expecting the refs to be like, you know what, forget this. Cut it. Yeah. Cut it. You see that? He's going to...
He was about to give him the punt heard around the world.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't seen Randy doing a good punt into someone's head in quite a while, so I was really...
He was owed it.
Oh, yeah. And that one should be coming down the line soon enough.
I believe the slot machines will be saying Orton. Owens.
Oh, I just think... Oh, no. The slot machine is going to say Orton's punts Owens. Yep. That's all it's going to be.
That's what we want to see.
Yep. But now let's get on to the main event, the Elimination Chamber for the men's, which I really, really, really was disappointed that Paul fucking eliminated Damian Priest.
Dude.
I love the fact that Priest eliminated
McIntyre.
Yeah, that one was perfect because it sets it up that Priest is constantly screwing over McIntyre.
Sorry, Drew.
It's needed.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, Damian Priest is very underrated as far as I'm concerned. He should have held that championship a lot longer. And that is an honest opinion because let Damian Priest put in the work. He does some amazing athletics. And not only that, when he was defending the title and his ankle got caught in between the ropes.
And he tripped.
He tripped, still
did the flying maneuver.
Did everything and still finished that match. That was absolutely amazing. He was able to get everything done that needed to get done. And I think more flowers need to go out for Damian Priest. Then, but the eliminations were great, but seeing Cena and Punk, they were going move for move. It was reenacting a classic match between the two of them.
Yeah, and they even hugged it out.
Oh, yeah, they hugged it out, And then we got the shocker of all shockers after Cena wins.
And not only that, but
it was a cheap win.
Yeah, let's thank you on that one, Seth, which we'll get to next.
Yeah. So Seth did go and he curb stomped. Yeah, he curb stomped Punk after being eliminated. So Cena was able to pick up the victory. Cody comes out, shakes hands with Cena. Everything seems great. And then out comes the final boss.
And not only that, the final boss and
Travis Scott. Yeah.
With the sage.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like, wait, you got sage? Wait, where's the turkey?
No, it was
That's what you usually
he's carrying a belt. Rock's carrying around a weight belt. So it was just, what the hell is going on here? And asking Cody for his soul, and Cody, fuck you, Rock.
Go fuck yourself.
Yep. Absolutely amazing. This episode will now guaranteed to be not for children. Now, the finger gesture that he made...
That's the second time
he
did it.
But it's also, he went from 3 fingers to 2. So, what's the one? That's where we got to figure it all out. Probably, but we'll see. But yeah, Cena making the heel turn. Backing up and kicking Cody square in the nuts.
I kicked him in the nuts.
And the beatdown that followed.
From the 2 of them.
3, because Travis Scott actually injured Cody. Because you could see it on Cena's face. Like, it was like, whoa. Like, no. It's like, are you all right? Because this, no. So, we had an amazing Elimination Chamber. And Cena going on to WrestleMania to take on Cody. And he's got The Rock in his corner. Will be an interesting take on things.
Now, you remember, I believe he came back during Bad Blood, Cena? And he gave that 30-minute post-interview. He gave a 30-second, I didn't even give an interview.
Well, this time,
at the post.
Well, let's face it. Cena said it in interviews before. Like, if he was going to go heel, it needed to be the complete opposite of what.
Next question. Next question. Oh.
Yeah, so
Bye.
This was, he just walked in, dropped the mic, and walked out. And absolutely worth it.
Oh, believe me, everybody was saying, a guy I know says, are you kidding? Everybody's been waiting. All the kids, all the soccer moms. What, AJ Styles?
Listen, the funny thing to me is when you go and you look at everything, everyone who's been booing Cena is now loving Cena, and everyone that loves Cena is booing Cena. So he's had an actual flip in the 50-50 split of people that loved and hated him.
Or maybe 55-45.
Either way, I would say it was like pretty much down the middle. Because especially, you're going to go into WrestleMania, Cody versus Cena. Now, you got babyface versus babyface. That was never going to wash.
No.
So it was either Cody was going to accept The Rock's offer or Cena was going to turn. There was no way around that.
Cena would win as a heel.
It was unpredictable, but it was so worth it. And then we had probably one of the most unpredictable things ever, Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yes, the post-Oscar speech from one Philip CM Punk Brooks.
Yeah. CM Punk laid it all out there. It was absolutely amazing.
He laid it out. He laid out Seth.
He dropped another pipe bomb. So not only does he drop a pipe bomb, but then he lays out Seth after telling Becky Becky Lynch she want to come and pick up her man because he's about to put him in, he's about to be in a wheelchair. Absolutely great.
Classic.
Yeah. Not only that, then it was like Seth comes out, the fight just keeps going, goes all the way backstage to then be announced that the following Monday night it'll be a steel cage match versus Seth and Punk, and it's not going to be enough. No. That will not go.
No.
Because then because let me guess, Seth is going to win that one. It'll now to break the tie between the two of them. The rubber match is going to be WrestleMania.
Yeah. And
what
are you going to do? Put him in Hell in a Cell.
And then, of course, the biggest upset of the entire Monday Night Raw, Rhea Ripley losing the title.
Io Sky.
Now,
Thanks to Bianca.
Io completely deserves to be a champion.
Agreed.
Cannot take that away from
No.
her. She has been one of the hardest workers. Her performances have been outstanding.
You know she is now officially a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
I believe she's the third.
Well, they have to change the rules for it, but they're going to end up changing those rules because of those mid-card titles, but that'll probably be after, like, Bayley wins the U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental.
I know both of them are in it. Then she'll, between her and Charlotte, they'd have at least all the titles.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So it's those two mid-card titles. Once those start getting a little more, and
then they'll say really, really have like a crown jewel.
Yeah.
Champions.
So, and that'll be the whole thing there. But Rhea Ripley losing this close to WrestleMania. So the controversy because Bianca like really backing Io.
And the ref did nothing.
Yeah,
They said that.
That was an interesting thing because when Bianca put her hands on Rhea, the match should have been over. That should have been a DQ, especially for a title match. But because the ref didn't, so we'll see what happens.
A lot of people look at that.
We're going to be looking to see what goes on in the upcoming weeks because WrestleMania is not that far off. What day is WrestleMania again?
It's the April 20th and 21st.
Wow, this is the first time in a while that it hasn't been at the beginning of April.
It's gone in past Easter, and that hasn't gone in years.
Yeah, so that's a long time coming. Now, I do want to talk about the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary.
So that whole weekend was amazing from that Friday night.
Yeah.
Trying to documentaries.
Yeah, trying to keep up with all of everything was a little too much. So only focusing on the actual 50th anniversary, which was over 2.5 hours?
About 3 hours and change.
Yeah, about 3 hours and change. But if you take out the commercial breaks,
yeah, about 2.5 hours.
About 2.5 hours. It was the production value was amazing. The star power that they had there was nothing like you wouldn't have expected from Saturday Night Live, especially for 50 years.
Yeah.
And like I have to say, what was some of your favorite sketches that they did?
Who was it, Domingo?
Oh, the Domingo, yep. Yep. Got to put that one up there. That was definitely a good one.
Domingo was good. The Scared Straight.
Yeah, Scared Straight was pretty funny. It wasn't a topper.
It gets there, but the next one was the UFO one. And they're all sitting there like, oh, God.
And whose first appearance on Saturday Night Live was it for that sketch?
Who was it? I believe it was
We were just talking about before we started recording.
No, not Pedro Piz.
Played Kate McKinnon's mother in the sketch.
Oh, who was it? No, not Pet. Oh gosh.
I love this. I had to do it. I had to put you on Meryl Streep.
Oh yes, Meryl Sheep.
Yep. So I had to put him on the spot there because Jimmy usually knows this stuff like really quick. So the brain farts are kicking in.
Brain farts do.
Yeah. So no, but it was her first ever appearance on Saturday Night Live. So that definitely says something there. The alien sketch was great. You know, Woody Harrelson being there.
The Black Jeopardy.
Black Jeopardy was hilarious.
Because they did at the 40th, they did Jeopardy.
Yep. But having Black Jeopardy in there.
And then Tom Hanks coming in. Well, because in the original sketch they did it.
Yep.
When he guest starred, it was.
But Eddie Murphy portraying Tracy Morgan. I think he did a better job being Tracy Morgan than Tracy Morgan does.
No, but remember one thing. But you got to remember.
And it was the only one sketch where you got probably some of the top people who have really carried a lot of the sketches there. Kenan Thompson, you had Chris Rock, you had Eddie Murphy, and
Tom Hanks.
And actually, I was gonna say Tracy Morgan. Wow, like. Tom Hanks coming in was a nice little shocker, but otherwise, when you look at that all around,
I think even Leslie Jones was in on that one.
Not this.
No, not that one.
Not this one. No. but it was like the Black Jeopardy sketch was hilarious. The New York throughout the ages was pretty funny, but at the same time, it dragged.
The news report was good.
Oh yeah, the news report, especially.
They brought out Drunk Uncle.
Oh yeah, they brought out Drunk Uncle, but not only did you bring out Drunk Uncle, you also got Bill Murray.
Yes.
So I mean, it was star-studded.
That's what he did there and everything, and he puts his brother on top, which was too funny. But that was just too funny on it and everything.
Yeah, but no, that was one of the better episodes I've seen in years, because I really haven't been watching Saturday Night Live.
I haven't watched in a year or so, but I've been watching the older sketches. I'll say this, as I watch them on Peacock, the first 5 years, they go an hour and they give you everything, including the music guest.
Yeah.
You go to 6 when Eddie Murphy, Joe Piscopo and them all come in, and Gilbert Godfrey. They go like a half hour. It's like, where's the music? Was it? They miss it. They put the news,
Yep.
the Rocket Report and everything, and I still feel, but I
Yeah.
never realized Charles Rocket committed suicide.
Yeah. Well, listen.
I was like, damn.
Look, Saturday Night Live kind of fell off for me, but this had some of the best like sketches. The musical performances were great for the 50th. Opening up with Sabrina Carpenter and Paul Simon, absolutely phenomenal. Sabrina Carpenter making appearances in several of the sketches. Pedro Pascal, several of the sketches. I was loving what they did, and I think it was a great tribute for Saturday Night Live for 50 years.
And then they gave, let us all remember, not people who died, but the sketches who died.
Yeah, terrible. Let us remember this terrible sketches.
And remember about the man that lived down by the river.
Oh, yeah.
God rest you, Farley.
Yeah. You know, they've lost cast members over the years.
Yeah.
So there was plenty of tributes
In
there.
good and bad ways.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we do have to talk and go off because Daredevil Born Again came out.
Let's bring it in.
Now this one, we're going right back into Marvel because after talking about like Brave New World.
Let's go into this
Yeah,
one instead.
this is
their TV. This is their bread and butter when they first started on Netflix doing TV.
Which we knew this was not going to be the same level as Netflix.
No.
It was never going to be.
No.
But there is something that was interesting because when you take a look at the opening, at the actual intro, like the way the city, everything's falling apart, but Daredevil is being rebuilt. This is going to show, like, when you look at it, you can almost see the metaphor of how, like, everything from that was around him before from Netflix is crashing down, and now he's being brought back up into Disney. And it's kind of a metaphor for that, but there could be other metaphors mixed in there because, you know, you can also take it as he's having to rebuild who he was after some losses, because we're going to get into some spoilers.
Yep.
So as a spoiler, you know, which I don't know if he is or isn't dead, but they do show Foggy which it looks like Foggy gets killed at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there are comics where Foggy went and he basically faked his own death. So could this be in there? Could it be? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how this all plays out because you have to remember Daredevil Born Again had reshoots done. They had done a bunch and then they scrapped it and tried redoing to fix the issues. The fight sequence at the beginning felt very reminiscent of the style from Netflix.
And even the end of season 3 there.
Yep. And even then seeing Fisk show back up, and it's now, we know this is after Echo.
Yes.
So we're actually seeing like a lot because this is like, supposedly I would say, what is this, like a year after?
Echo?
Yeah.
Maybe at least a year, maybe 2.
Well,
give or take. But at least
after after the beginning with Foggy getting killed, it says a year later.
Yeah.
So is it really a year since the Netflix show, or is it a year since Echo? Which, because it all depends on
good question.
How long is it that it took for Fisk to be recovered after being shot in the eye. So there was that. There was so much going on in the episode. You see the relationship between him and Karen is kind of falling off to the wayside.
She went to Frisco.
Yeah. So we're seeing like a lot of stuff that's going on. You've got replacement characters there. But oh my God, Charlie Cox does an amazing job.
He's so good as Daredevil.
He stepped right back into the character, and it did such a great job, especially after Karen gives him the piece of the devil horn from his helmet, and he just keeps rubbing that within the second episode. It's like he's got it in his pocket. Like the fight sequences are amazing. Seeing him sitting across the table from Wilson Fisk, having them talk, just a conversation with the little jabs of like one's threatening the other one, and it's like, which cat and mouse game are they playing? Who's
going to win the game of chicken?
Yeah. And that's the thing. This is really that like step up moment of Marvel is back with their series. If Marvel finds a way, and this is my opinion, you tell me what yours is, Jimmy, but my opinion really is that if Marvel kind of goes along with the gritty nature of similar to Netflix, even if they tone it down just a little bit, if they keep this kind of style the way the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, all the shows will be a hit if they're able to keep this kind of tone. If they change the tone too much, they're going to start having more issues.
Because they've already, like I said, I already given you the synopsis from the Russo brothers.
Yep.
Marvel News has also put out announcements for everything next year, and it looks like season 2 of that is coming. A special Punisher. Yep. The season 2 of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men 97. They're going to skip this year with them, which I'm like,
I'm okay with that.
Yes. I'll give it to them.
You got to realize we've got a lot of stuff coming out this year alone. So all the stuff that's coming out this year, I think they're starting to realize people are starting to get a little fatigued. You can put out a Spider-Man cartoon at any time.
Yeah.
You can put out an X-Men cartoon at any time. But I think holding it back a year for X-Men 97 for season 2 is probably the smart idea, because it'll get us closer to when they do bring mutants into the MCU fully.
Well, I know. Well, that's the question of the day.
Well, that is supposed to be what comes after the Avengers Doomsday incident and all that. Mm-hmm. The next phase is the introduction of mutants.
No.
So,
and if you think you know who the first mutant will be, you can email us at
Drons Lair Podcast at gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's Drons Lair Podcast at gmail.com.
Because everybody's going to say Wolverine, and guess what?
That may not be the case.
Nope. You're right. Everybody wants to say Wolverine. No, I don't think so, Tim.
Technically speaking, they've already introduced what could be considered the first mutant that we know of, which would be Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Yes.
So, because they did say at the end of her show that she's not she was a mutant. Yeah. There was a mutation in her DNA. So that could say something, because
I hope they bring her back, actually.
And that's the thing. She was a good actress.
Yeah.
I feel like the MCU kind of screwed the pooch, because dropping a bunch of stories because, you didn't plan it out properly. I don't think we should lose Ant-Man and Ant-Man 4. I don't think losing the Marvel's movie number 3 is a good idea, but I'm not the one in charge. So we'll see what happens
up to
there.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see if Feige ever steps down, the same way the rumors are Kathleen Kennedy might step down. Yeah. So it's not confirmed, and anybody who is excited that Kathleen Kennedy would be stepping down, just think long and hard about the fact that you might be excited about it, but it might be a bad call.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of stories that are left to be told, and having a showrunner that cares about the IP,
like she did,
and that's one of the key important features. And that's the thing, and that's part of the thing that bothers me more than anything. If you want someone to be in charge with Star Wars, it needs to be someone who understands the fandom. Now, granted, I will say, somebody who I wouldn't mind would be an actor having some input into things would actually be Sam
Worthington?
Yes. Because you figure he was Star Killer. He's voiced a bunch of the characters, including Darth Maul. He knows the universe probably as well as Lucas knows it, if not better than, because he has come up with some amazing takes on things, and he's figured out little things, and he's had to point them out to them on set. So that tells you that it's like he knows what he's talking about.
He's a seasoned actor, and once he's done with Avatar 3, he's free open.
Who's he doing? He's in Avatar 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been in all 3. He's been in all 3. So.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He
was in the first one?
He was the one in the wheelchair.
No.
That's Sam Worthington.
No. Completely different guy. That cannot be the same guy, because that's not the same guy who was, because the one from Avatar was the same guy who was in, what was it? Clash of the Titans?
Yeah.
Not the same guy.
It's a different Sam?
It's a different Sam. I think it's Worthington.
Yeah.
You sure? Because
that's the one from Avatar.
That's not the one I'm talking about. That's a different. It's a different Sam.
That's too.
We got too many different Sams.
We got too many Sams in the world.
No, because if you look it up,
and it ain't L. Jackson.
No, but it's the same. This is the one from the video games. He was also in Being Human, the American version that was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
Because there were two different Sams on that show as well. You want to take a look and see if you pull that up? And while Jimmy's looking that up, I just want to make sure I want to thank everyone who listens to the Drons Lair Podcast. Thank you all. We appreciate each and every one of you. And you can always take part in the polls that we do on the Spotify page. So we're going to see how well our knowledge is, because once Jimmy pulls this up. But I have the polls set up. Every episode has a new poll, so you can check out those polls and give us your feedback for just a basic question. But make sure you give us a comment, a like, follow us on all the different platforms, and help push out the podcast, because, we enjoy these conversations just as much as you guys do.
Show 'em.
Still no?
Still
okay.
Show 'em.
So, Jimmy, why don't you give a recommendation while I look this one up? So, because I'll have this.
Yes, recommendation. I
Yep.
We spoke about that.
Yes, you had a recommendation?
So, if anybody has Prime Video, something out there for. All right, everybody's heard of the Virgin Megastore. Everybody has had in their malls Sam Goody, Record Town. But do you all remember Tower Records? Do you remember Tower Records?
Oh, I remember Tower Records. By the way, before we get any further, it's actually Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer. Oh, okay.
Sam Witwer.
Okay.
See?
Aha.
For the people.
Why does he look like Nicholas Hoult too?
Only because I think that's the haircut. But if you remember, because Sam Witwer was also on Smallville.
Yes.
He was Doomsday.
Yes.
See?
So, All Things Must Pass, which is a George Harrison song, is the documentary about the rise and fall of Tower Records, how it started in the 50s and 60s in a little drugstore and expanded on the West Coast, came to the U.S., came to New York City, went and expanded in Japan, went to England, and then, thanks to the internet, it collapsed nationwide. I didn't say worldwide, but you have to watch why I say nationwide.
Yep.
It's a very good documentary on it. If you enjoy music, if you've gotten music out of Tower Records, you'll enjoy the story. They even show the NYU, the Village Tower Records, which I will personally say I've been there, and I enjoyed getting some music there.
All right.
At the time when that isn't washed away.
Now, Jimmy, what was one of your standout moments, though, of actually watching Daredevil Born Again?
Daredevil Born Again, one of my standout moments was seeing him. They're actually making him more not being Daredevil, getting away from the character, getting
seeing more of Matt Murdock.
Murdock as the lawyer and everything, and seeing his sentence, enjoying watching him with the senses, with his hearing and everything, because everybody knows he's blind, but the thing is, everything else is enhanced for him.
See, I have to say one of my favorite moments was actually in episode 2. It was right before the end when he gets into the guy's apartment. He gets the witness out of there, and he's going to be protecting him. And the two guys, the crooked cops, are like beating on him. And just before they go to shoot him, he was like, "You really want to do this?" And then takes the gun and beats the hell out of both of them.
Yep.
And that to me was a great moment because he is literally like, you're seeing Matt Murdock fighting off these two guys. He's not Daredevil at this moment.
No.
He's fighting back the urge to be that vigilante, especially because he's actually trying to save White Tiger, who's locked up in jail. So the fact that it's like he's trying to save White Tiger by getting the witness and he beats these guys down. And then that scream that he gives viscerally at the end.
Before the Vine song comes on.
Because you could tell at that moment in the episode was he is fighting back the urge to put on the costume and go back out and be the vigilante that he has been. And that to me says a lot for this season. And that was only within 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So that we've had like an amazing run with this so far. And that's just 2 episodes in. We're definitely going to be coming back and talking more about it. I'm going to assume that they're going to be going 1 episode per week.
Yeah.
Unlike what they did with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which caught up with us a little faster than we had planned on, because I was not expecting 3 episodes dropping each week.
Give or take, at least.
They dropped at least 3 episodes each week.
Was it 2 and then 3, then 2?
Because it was 8 episodes,
Yeah.
so they did 3, 3, 2.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to be that quick because I was expecting more episodes. I thought it was going to at least be about 12 episodes.
Yeah,
and
same.
Yeah, so it was a shorter series than I would have expected.
But it gave a whole different synopsis of the Marvel Universe.
Yep. But now we're getting to see, and Daredevil was in that series as well.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be
Charlie Cox's voice.
But it will be the closest we get to Spider-Man being with Daredevil outside of a movie, because unless they bring Daredevil into the movie, the contracts between Sony and Marvel, Tom Holland is not allowed to play Spider-Man on one of the shows unless they were able to negotiate some kind of a deal.
Because remember, Matt Murdock was in, what was it?
Spider-Man No Way Home, but he was in the movie, but we didn't get to see Daredevil. We saw Matt Murdock. So that will be an interesting thing if we ever get a chance to see that. Now, let's talk about the movie that we selected.
Yes.
Amy Schumer, Kind of Pregnant, on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It was Happy Madison Productions, which I was happy to see that it was at least done by Happy Madison Productions.
Well, he's got a good contract and good, right now, what the movies he's done on there.
Yep.
Adam Sandler with Happy Madison, he's got a good rapport with them.
Yeah.
And everything. So I don't know how many movies and everything he's got, but.
Now, my thing is, the movie, my first overall impression really is the movie was kind of funny. To me, it had a good amount of jokes in there, but it wasn't like, didn't make me laugh out loud as much. I think I felt I had more fun watching Amy Schumer's movie Trainwreck than I did with this one.
I mean, they open it up with, we're going to give spoilers.
Of course, spoiler warning.
But the opening, now that was too funny with the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh yeah, the characters as children playing moms in a delivery room, giving birth. Yeah, on the playground with the screaming, trying to figure out because their moms had passed away when they were kids.
Yeah, so the mom did.
Yeah, the mom did. So it was like, it really was something that you were like, okay, that was funny. Because it was small kids pretending to be adults. Like, that stuff can be funny. Then you go and you get to
the anniversary with her and Damon Jr.
Yeah, which I love the fact that they got Damon Wayans Jr. in there.
I like that.
Damon Wayans Jr. is comedy gold. And so, I mean, the character he portrays, it's like she thinks it's like, oh, he's going to ask me to marry him, and he's actually asking for a threesome.
No, I want to have a three-way.
Yeah.
You didn't see that coming.
That one was definitely not something that you were going to see. And then afterwards, heartbroken Amy Schumer going and burning Shakespeare plays in the garbage can in the classroom. Ugh. But that's the thing. It's like her best friend is pregnant. She's like with her, trying to support her. She tries on the fake baby bump. And
that's where it begins.
Yeah. And from that point on, it's like you see all the people being nice to her and getting up off the subway, giving her the seat, which that really doesn't happen that often.
And
I wish it did, but
I want to be pregnant just like her. No, you don't. You're 15 years old.
And then we see her the next time we see that.
And the
mother gives her the finger because the kid is pregnant. Yep. Oh yeah. That one was a good moment.
That was a good moment. And now you know who the daughter was, right?
No.
That's Sandler's daughter.
Oh, that's not surprising.
Sandler's daughter, that's her, and his wife was the yoga teacher.
Not surprising at all.
Well, he usually does that now and everything.
But he wasn't in the movie, so I mean.
No, that's the surprise. I'm actually shocked at that on this one.
Will Forte, great job.
Oh, he's good. Let me tell you something. Since even Saturday Night Live, he'll give good comedy. And
I watched him when he did that show Last Man on Earth, and it wasn't that great of a show.
No, MacGruber was better than that.
Not really a MacGruber fan, but it was one of those things where he did a great job with this one as being the guy interested in her. I love the fact that it's like she makes friends with the pregnant woman, and it's like, it's like they had some good comedy.
Not only that, it's her son beats the shit out of his stomach.
Oh yeah,
which way?
Oh no, it's like when the kid sees her later on in the Toys R Us. I'm like, why did they have a Toys R Us there? That should have been I guess that's in the back of a Macy's.
Yeah.
So it was like you're seeing like the Toys R Us shelves. The kid is like screaming, "You're not pregnant, not pregnant." It's like no baby, no baby. You're like, uh-oh.
Oh shit! And then she hides in all the stuff
in the ball pit, in like the ball pit bin.
But it's stuffed animals.
Yeah, and then it all falls apart.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were good moments there. We don't want to give the whole movie away, but it is one of those movies where I'm not gonna say that like this one isn't like a diehard recommend for me.
But it's something to enjoy when you need a laugh, in a way.
Yeah, I would say that.
And if you're an Amy Schumer fan.
If you're an Amy Schumer fan, this one's definitely one you're going to want to check out. I would actually say this is more like, you know what, you're looking for something to watch on like a date night with like your girlfriend, and you're comfortable in your relationship, and you're not about to ask for a threesome. Then I would recommend this. But if you're going to ask for the threesome, don't do it.
No. And also, please, folks, don't try to do what Will Forte did at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Don't do that on the New York streets because we already got congestion pricings. We don't need a Zamboni.
Don't give it all away, but you know, there is a thing. We don't
need a runaway train.
Although I will say that when it comes down to it, I do hate that we have so much crap out on the streets. The e-bikes taking up parking spots. You have in New York, not only do you have the e-bikes, but you also go and you have the outdoor eateries that have come up since the plague.
And now actually on that whole, they had them take down. They go down.
Some of them are gone, but there are some that are still.
But they get fined for that and everything with the city because they're supposed to be down the beginning of November until like I believe it's the end of March. Or April,
they give it
and then they put them back up. But these people got to be like, where do I put this thing? Well, go get a storage container. There's plenty of storage container places now in the city.
Yeah,
every 5 blocks.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're eating up parking spots. It's not helpful at all. So that's just a New York thing, you know.
And the worst thing is, at least they take them down. At least you can get rid of the rat houses.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're giving like the mice places to hide. It really just breaks down to it's very simple. All you have to do is not have those little shacks and shanties there the whole time. If you take them down for any given period, I get it. During the wintertime, you need a little more seating or whatever. That's fine. But when you're doing it during the summer months, you're eating up parking. Granted, yeah, people want to eat outdoors, but you don't need a little shanty and stuff outside for that. But I mean, it's a cute idea for some like restaurants and locations, and then there are others where it's like it's not up against the side of the building; it's literally across, like out in the middle of the street.
It's a roadblock.
Oh, it's absolutely a roadblock. So when what happened at the end of the movie, I was happy with that to see, because it filled my little heart with joy. So that, yeah, it was just one of those moments where I'm just like, yay. But no, so it's, kind of pregnant, kind of funny. That's my overall. It kind of pregnant was kind of funny. It's not going to be the must see, can't miss movie of the year. You could definitely miss this and not miss anything. But I definitely would say check it out. Like if you're having like a date night or something, and you're just looking for like a comedy to watch. It might not be might be something you could watch with like your girl.
But it's something to watch.
Yeah, something, Not going to go too crazy with that one. Now, I do have a thought for what we will be watching for the next one. I don't know where it's available. I'm sure it's available for rental. But I want us to watch Toy Soldiers from the 90s.
Toy Soldiers with you're talking
Will
about?
Wheaton.
Oh, okay.
The one where we got the song from, Toy Soldiers.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Toy Soldiers. What was that? 90?
That was, what do you call it? Did that?
Yeah, but I think it was like 91.
Around there.
Yeah. So this is with Will Wheaton. What is it? I think Keith Coogan was also in that one. I think also, was it Louis Gossett Jr. or was in there? So great cast. That is going to be the movie that we will be discussing for the next episode. So we're going to be doing Toy Soldiers.
I'm thinking Small Soldiers.
No, why are you thinking Small Soldiers?
Because
You're thinking, because we talked about Saturday Night Live, Phil Hartman. I get what you're doing with that one. But no, we're going to do Toy Soldiers.
Jones.
Yeah, no, but we're going to do... we're doing Toy Soldiers.
Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton.
With Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Say cool whip.
We're not doing that one.
Wheaton.
Yes, but no. So yeah, we'll be doing the movie Toy Soldiers. So with that, we'll be keeping an eye out. If you want to follow us and find out what we're going to be talking about, that'll be posted on the socials. Usually I'll have that on my Blue Sky page, which is Blue Dragoon 13. You can also find me on all the other socials, Blue Dragoon 13. Those are the ones where you're going to be able to find me the easiest. Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok especially. You'll also find Twitch. There's a link in all of my profiles to the Discord page, so you'll be able to join the Discord community. Also, you can check out the Blue Dragoon 13 YouTube page, which will be able to show you the episodes of the Drons Lair Podcast 1 week after they air on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and all your other favorite podcasting platforms. So now, Jimmy, you want to give everybody your socials?
And I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm James925. Snapchat, James SI0925, all lowercase. Instagram and Threads, James H_the4th. Facebook, James Haynes the 4th. And on TikTok, James0925. Also, special shout out to another plug, which I'd got on this movie fans page, and he's got something called Movie Clips. It's a card game.
Okay.
And it links up where it's basically almost like 6 degrees of separation, where you link up Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, for example, is one of the cards. It's a nice little multiple card game you can bring around to people, bring around to guests, going to a party. Enjoy, need something to do? Boom, pull it out. One thing I want to say, and we brought it up before, it was brought up Sunday. Now, I'm not going to touch the awards and everything. I know your opinion. I have mine. No problem. But I will say this. Sean Baker, who did Enora, in his third speech, yes, that's right, third speech, brought up the point which he thanked his mother on. Go to the theaters. We've said it. We're going to pound everybody. Go to the theaters. I don't think everybody realized, but the small theaters that are out there, thousands of them have closed since the pandemic. Why? Because everything's live streamed. Everything gets streamed at least 2 or 3 weeks later and everything. And that's not right. You want to have the full effect. Granted, I know it costs $100. We all know that. Unless you're in one of the movie plans with everything. But take them to the movies. Get the full effect as you did as even a child. You bring your friends. You bring your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, the little kids that are next door. This way.
Do not bring someone else's child without the parents' permission.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If you're taking somebody else's kids to the theaters, you better have that parent's permission.
Exactly.
And you better also have your own kid with you, because that's wrong and creepy.
And Sheldon.
Yeah, it's just creepy.
Yeah. We're not trying to creep people out.
No.
But still, keep the theaters alive.
Yeah. And like I said earlier on in the episode, the theater experience is dying because the studios keep putting out longer and longer movies. Half of the time nowadays, it seems like they're just trying to cram in as much star power as they can. And that unfortunately causes the movies to exceed expectations and be a lot longer than they should be. So it's a pain for all of us to have to sit in a movie theater for over 2 hours because eventually your bladder is telling you you need to get up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It doesn't matter how old you are, but the movie-going experience is something that it's timeless. It's something that I remember very fondly from my childhood, going to the movie theater with my dad all the time. But I will say that it's not the same thing as it is nowadays, as it was back then. So
going to the matinees and everything, which was the perfect price back then.
Yeah.
$4 for a matinee.
If we could get back the matinee prices, if theaters weren't charging so much, and in all honesty, when they have special events, like where they're showing like certain anime movies make it to the theaters.
Or even classics.
Yeah, but
black and white.
There will be anime movies that are going to the theaters, especially because this year alone, later on this year, Demon Slayer will have the first of about 4 movies that will be dropping for the Infinity Castle.
Yeah.
There is a Gundam movie that is going to the theaters.
That is out now.
Yep. So there's a lot of these movies are going to the theaters, and there's something about the experience, whether you're going to watch it subbed or you're going to watch it dubbed. There's something about seeing them in the theaters.
Exactly.
So we do support the theaters. However, I don't support the Hollywood system of making a movie so long, in fact, that basically you're going to give yourself a bladder infection trying to hold it in to not miss anything. Because you're not going to want to spend the money again to watch the movie over in the theaters.
Nope.
And the Hollywood system is complaining about the streaming platforms. Meanwhile, they're catering to the streaming platforms. So they are the ones who are killing the movie-going experience. Yeah. That's all that really is to it. But if you want to make sure that you can reach out to us, if you don't want to send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com, that's all one word, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's, that's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. You can go and you can message us on the Facebook or Instagram page, which is Dragoons Lair Podcast So, Dragoons Lair Podcast, Facebook, and on Instagram, we have the 2 groups there. So we have the pages. You can always send us the email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us individually, where you can go and find one of our socials. Send us a message, If you're liking any of the shorts that are on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, or on YouTube Shorts, please make sure you leave us a like, share them, subscribe, follow us, do all the things that'll, hit the little buttons and the doobly-doos to give us all the things that we need to help us spread the news and hear more about our opinions. So you can also join in on the conversation. And we're working on a few things behind the scenes. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but trust me, we've got good things in store. And if you go and you'd like, still on my Blue Sky page, it is pinned in the comments, and it should also be pinned on the Facebook group. If you want to buy some merchandise, We have merchandise from Teespring that I've put up there. Now you can either support the Gangster line or you can support just the Drons Lair Podcast merch that we have available right now. And if you know or are a graphic design artist and you would like to work with us and we can try to figure out something price-wise, please reach out at dragonslairpodcast@gmail.com. This way we can go and we can discuss topics for things that we can have as actual merchandise, and you can showcase your artwork, and we will be happy to plug you along with providing any payment for what we need for the graphics and images that we discuss. So thank you all for listening to the Drons Lair Podcast. This has been another great week with you guys.
Absolutely.
And we hope to see you guys next time. So make sure next time, bring a friend, bring two, have a threesome while listening to the Drons Lair Podcast. Trust me, this voice is an aphrodisiac. You know it. I know it. So with that being said, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out. Later.